You know what it is. Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
You know who it is. Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Ode, Maury, Sody, Maury.
Maury, Sody, Maury, Sody.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Ode and Maurice. And I did not mute the actual board while we were singing. So now the podcast people can hear us stumbling through.
We are stumbling.
That intro of a song.
I told you we gotta get a what is it called? A news prompter.
A teleprompter?
A teleprompter.
You were so close. You're in journalism. Isn't that like journalism 101 to know
no,
what a
because
teleprompter
I wasn't a
is?
broadcast journalist. I was a print journalist, and we didn't have to take any broadcast classes. Although the broadcast did have to take print journalism classes. Because most people I know I met during Dr. Kagawa's class. Shout out to you, Dr. Kagawa.
Let's take these shots.
Fine.
Yes. All right, to another Watch Out Wednesday. And
Watch out now.
And Watch Out Now Wednesdays. And for the podcast listeners, we are drinking a shot of Tito's.
Tito's.
Here we go. Cheers. Cheers. And there's Foley work going on. And you talk while I take my shot.
Great. Well, we told you at the top of the new year that we were starting something new. Which is, well, not something new. We're bringing back a throwback, but we're doing it in a new way.
Yes, new format, old thing that we're doing.
Yes, and so we used to like to watch movies or shows, sometimes listen to music, and then talk about it for bonus episodes. And we had fallen off on that for a while. I really wanted to bring it back because, one, I really love doing these Facebook Lives. I think they're very fun. And I love to see when people come and like chat with us. And also I feel like y'all deserve something else besides our usual regular podcast, which is great and dope and amazing. But like, why not sprinkle a little confetti on top of that?
Folks, where's the lie?
And so we are watching right now Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope on Netflix.
On Netflix. And let's just start out by saying Giancarlo is babe.
He's good.
He's always been
He's
babe.
good in this. He's good in this.
He's good in every. I don't think I've ever seen him in something that he was not good in.
To show his age a little bit, like
He's coming as Silver Fox.
I mean, nothing against him being an elder
He's
gentleman.
not elderly.
And I didn't say elderly.
You were about to say elderly.
He's an older statesman, I would say.
He's an older
He's
statesman.
one of the he's seasoned.
You want to know what it is that there are a lot of these.
He's no spring chicken.
There are a lot of these actors who we literally have. They've been alive for as long as we've been alive. Well, obviously we've been watching their career for as long as we've been alive, and they basically have the same face.
Yes,
and it would be like an old face, but you could be like, oh, that's a attractive, distinguished gentleman. Mm-hmm. Giancarlo has always had a very, I think he still looks youthful, but he is now starting to get like a seasoned older look to him.
Yes.
But I think that seasoned older look still looks good on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that all the aunties are still throwing him their panties the same way they were in school days.
Much like yourself.
No, but I didn't say throw him.
You're an auntie.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like that, you can shove that baby's photo in my
just
face.
Like that.
Yet you forget that you're a fucking
if
auntie.
If I had my phone, if I could use my phone, I would show you more pictures of my baby because he's perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, dry up real quick and. As far as talking about Giancarlo, okay, I've moved on. Okay. I have moved on from baby talk. We're talking about Kaleidoscope. We watched
Yellow.
This was green.
Yeah, no, we watched. This is green. The one we watched
Last
first
week we watched yellow. This week's
introduction.
episode was episode green. The green episode.
Yes, which takes place 7 years before.
Yes, 7 years before the heist.
Each of the colors are a certain time period for before the heist.
Yeah, in relation to the heist. So this takes place 7 years before the heist. We find Giancarlo's character.
Sorry. Spoilers.
Warning.
Spoilers. Just so you know, it's going to be spoiler heavy.
Yes, we're spoiling everything in the green episode. So if you haven't seen it, stop this right now. Stop listening. Go off of live. Watch it. Come back. We're here to talk about it.
Yes. But okay, so it's 7 years, and it opens with Giancarlo, Leo's character.
Yes.
AKA Ray.
Yes, we find out in this episode.
We find out to this episode that
his original name was Ray.
And
his birth name.
And I like when it started and they were calling him Ray because he's in prison.
Yes.
And his cellmate eventually is like calling him Ray. Well, his cellmate is Stan. Yes. The guy we meet in the first episode. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why do they keep calling him Ray? I was thinking maybe his name is... I was trying to think of names that would be like
nickname, like
Ray Leo or something. Like what could his full name be that Leo comes out of there?
Leonare.
I like Ray Lenaro.
Ray Lenaro?
Yeah, like a Leonardo.
Ray Lenaro.
Yeah, Ray Lenaro. I don't know.
That sounds like an Italian Dominican child.
Giancarlo.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. Clearly, it's connected to his name.
Okay, fair enough. It is revealed to us in this episode, one, that he's in jail. This takes place in a prison, and he has been in prison for 17 years.
Yeah.
His cellmate is Stan. We're assuming that that's how they met. They met in jail as bunkmates. And Stan is running a SIM card smuggling ring.
It's SIM cards and weed lollipops because we also get to see the early stages of Judy, who's the chemist, in their heist group. And she's brewing up some weed lollipops, brings them to the prison. I can't believe that this, I guess in other parts of the country, maybe like corrections officers don't really make any money. So buying One Direction tickets could be expensive. But you're going to need to give me like Beyonce if you want me to risk my job and freedom.
Yeah, One Direction is not the... Maybe for me, it would have to be Run the Jewels.
Yes. Like, those are, like, I guess if it was... Maybe it was for her daughter, like, or something, and she's, like, missed all her birthdays.
Judy bribed the CO with One Direction tickets to look the other way so that she could smuggle in the wee lollipops.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. That's a year in prison.
Yes.
At minimum.
Oh, you looked it up?
No, but just from my knowledge of people who have done things like that.
We all have somebody in our family.
They were get a minimum of a year.
What? He knows where he is.
That's the world. You don't know if he wants you spreading his business.
I don't know what to tell you.
The paper is not on Twitter. Anyway.
Is it a secret? Would it be a secret?
No,
from whom?
It's not a secret.
Who would it be a secret from?
Not a secret.
And it's not, and I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. I'm just saying, like, hey, holding it down.
We're just glad that you're listening to us. And we appreciate you so much.
Special shout out to you. You're awesome.
Okay, so now this prison, it seems very similar to what we would assume prisons like. There's factions, Aryans that call themselves the Peckerwoods.
Which is a terrible name.
Terrible name.
That's a terrible name.
First of all, I mean, I guess, would that be like a black group calling themselves like the Coons? Because Peckerwood is a derogatory
phrase for white people.
But I guess...
Okay, go.
Well, I was going to say, I guess because what we find out about them, well, one, they're a bunch of Aryan thugs with terrible face tattoos, and one of the guys looks like the guy from Not Dexter. What's that show with the serial killer on HBO that you like? The comedian.
The comedian serial killer?
Or he's like an actor. He's a serial killer.
Oh, Barry.
Yes. Doesn't he the white guy in Barry who's bald?
Oh, I know who you mean.
He looks like that guy.
I don't think he does.
I think he kind of looks like him. Maybe just because he's all super
the
bald
Chechnyan
and
dude?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He looks.
Okay, I can see it. You know what it is, because there's an actor, Nazi number 2, who looks strikingly similar to the gentleman in Barry,
except for he has terrible face and head
tattoos. I think it's both because they have like thin eyebrows, so their eyebrows protrude.
They look very Eastern European.
Eastern European.
So that's the.
But
that's
he's
the
a Peckerwood.
And
I could say that because that's his character.
I feel like I wonder if I want the black ones in there to be called coons.
I don't want that.
I don't want it, but I feel like that would be funny. If we're all gonna pick stupid derogatory terms, the jigaboos. Oh, that's better.
Is that better?
That's better.
I don't know. First off, here's my problem with jigaboos. Like, I always. Anytime
that's the sound bite.
The image comes to me of like not black people, but just like the idea of dancing. Yeah,
but that's why think of what would come to your mind when you think of Peckerwood. Nothing fun or great or awesome at all.
A penis.
So, yes, but okay. This was sorry. What I was gonna say is Peckerwood is a derogatory term.
Yes.
And I'm curious if because of all the shady shit that we find out they do in the prison and what they're connected to, if that's why they chose to name Peckerwoods. I don't know. Someone from the show, please write in and let us know.
I just want them to break out in West Side Story style dancing. The Peckerwoods.
When we're the Jets, we're the Jets.
Peckerwoods all the way. You're born white and
that's how slaves. You should stay.
Yes, that is much better than my thing. So,
but both were true. Yeah. Okay, so initially,
you hate slaves. Or would you love them?
Well, they love them for a reason.
Slavery.
You love to have your slaves doing things for you. People love their slaves because they didn't have to cook or clean or wash clothes.
And if you were more into anime, I would introduce you to Vinland Saga, which is a new anime that I'm currently watching. They don't have the English dub right now. They're releasing it on a weekly basis, and it's in Japanese.
I would watch it out. I don't mind watching sub stuff. Is it scary?
No, it's not scary.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah, but
they
deal with slavery in that show.
If I can watch Attack on Titan and been getting through...
Can you watch
I've been watching it.
We have dropped it so hard.
No, but not because we didn't drop it. It was just because we've been watching 1,000 other things. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about... I'm saying it right now. We're going to continue watching and we're going to talk about that soon.
I don't know if we're going to do a Watch Out Wednesdays for Attack on Titan, but...
No, not... But I'm just going to say, one of these Attack on Titans, we're going to have finished... Because I want to know the end of the story. It used to be very scary. I still find it a little bit scary because of the way that...
You were petrified?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But now that I can understand what the Titans are and the defenses they have against them, it feels more of it's more drama than it is zombiness, which is the part that I hate. Yeah. And I'm getting used to the images of the people dying and those terrible screams and how horrible.
And we haven't even made it to season 2 yet.
Oh, they get worse?
It gets more interesting, I would say.
But do the Titans look worse?
The Titans they're giant, colossal, naked human beings.
The ones have the weird, huge heads. Yeah. And then the way the female Titan, mega Titan looks.
They continue to look like Titans.
Okay. Well, back to...
That's my job. Green. My job is to derail this fucking thing for as long as I possibly can. Anyway.
So we like we said, Leo is cellmates with Stan. He protects him against the Aryans after they're beating him up with a freaking rolling pin. Yeah. And then, we see how their relationship is forming. Mm-hmm. Stan is in a relationship with Judy, the chemist, which we knew something had happened between them in the first episode, but we didn't know what.
Yeah, we knew that they had dated previously.
At some point, they were romantic, had a thing. We know something happened.
Yeah.
But we find out they had met each other prior to him going in for whatever reason. They didn't explain it why he went in.
He wanted to marry her.
And he wanted to marry her.
Which is
and
so adorable.
She's
ill-advised.
She is helping him bring
fine.
stuff into the prison, making the lead lollipops, getting SIM cards, all the great prison currency.
Those nails came off really fast for the SIM cards. Is that like what kind of?
Well, if she had press on because she basically like slid him the nails like she went over his hand like this. The SIM cards
were in the
and they were like
nails.
in her nails, but all she had to do is put on press-ons.
Okay.
If she had press-ons, and I mean, she would have to have like loosened them up.
Yeah, they came off
so that
quicker
like
than chiclets.
Like because she would have to. I feel like if this was movie magic, I feel like she would have had to tap on them to like get them free.
She got them off in like a seductive sort of way.
Yes,
very slow seductive way.
Maybe she put them there and she like rubbed his palm, and that's how it could work. Other than that, it would have been impossible.
So while in jail, Leo or Ray at this point, it goes to the in-house jailhouse doctor
because he had a seizure. He had been dropping stuff and having really bad hand cramps, and next thing you know, he's in bed, falls on the ground, and he was rushed to the hospital.
Turns out he possibly has Parkinson's.
And yes,
early signs of Parkinson's.
And at first I was thinking, was he faking his sickness
in order to get released quicker?
Yeah, like, because I was just thinking like he was not clearly. Once we know that he has like a plot, after he gets this Parkinson's diagnosis, he then starts a plot to break out or rabbit, as they say in the show. And I was thinking, well, is he really sick, or is he pretending to be sick to be able to go to the doctor? Because if you go to the doctor, you're getting more chances of maybe not leaving, but if he wants to escape, it's probably easier from wherever the doctor is than from your holding cell.
Well, I don't think... Yeah, okay, so I understand your logic. I don't think, like, they... or at least not all the time, because clearly with certain celebrities, they speed up their sort of trials and stuff like that, based on sickness or whatever like that. They use that to petition staying at home with an ankle bracelet or whatever the fuck it is, right? I don't think that was the case because he doesn't let his cellmate stand in on that part of the plan. So I wasn't thinking that I don't think he was faking it. It was like legitimate, and also he looked surprised when the doctor even mentioned Parkinson's.
I mean, we eventually find out that he does actually have it, but I was just thinking, like, if that was a part of his plan, was because the plan was very intricate.
Yeah,
they seemed to have every single base covered, and it wasn't until he spoke to his lawyer Ava, who we met in the first episode, that I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely
this is real. He started showing signs of the Khalees.
Of the what?
Shakes.
Okay. But what did you think of this the whole rabbiting, breaking out, whole thing? Like, what did you think about that part of the plot?
I found it interesting. Like, I obviously we needed to get to where we were in Yellow.
Yeah.
My question was how we're gonna get there, and I'm sure there's other intricate details in order to get us there. But then again, this is all self-contained storytelling that you could watch like individually outside of each other without necessarily connecting them. We just so happen to be watching them in the order that they are on Netflix. I thought and we'll talk about this in a little bit. I thought the actual jailbreak plan was a little convoluted.
What? Okay, how so? Because these are the parts of the plan.
Yes.
He already is sick with the Parkinson's.
Yes, they make the decision to get out of jail. At first, Stan was gonna go with him, but we'll get into why he doesn't in a little bit.
So he's sick. So they make the plan for he's gonna have an episode to have to go to the doctor.
Yes,
and then Stan, because he's a cook in the kitchen, his part of the plan is he's going to mix up. He also is a gardener. He has all these magic mushrooms that he grows. He's going to mix up all these magic mushrooms into the oatmeal and then
that
cut himself. Well, that will cause a distraction because everyone's going to be high off their asses.
Yes.
And then he's going to cut himself to get to the infirmary. And then like from there, they will be able to like make this quick break because
you're missing a key part of the plot, which is that Leo's character, he does bars of soap Irish Spring sculptures, and he always has Irish Spring bars of soap on him. So what he does is he causes a distraction with a guard, and when the guard's not looking, like he presses a mold of the key into the bar of soap, the key that the guard uses to get out into the yard.
So, do you want to know how I was paying attention to this, but I completely did not know what he was carving with soap? I saw him carving this whole time, and I remember at one point Stan had smuggled into him the book Dumas, and that's by the guy that wrote The Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay.
I forget his name, but whatever. It's an old book. And in it was a little shiv. And, of course, you're thinking in prison it's going to use it to hurt someone. No, he's using this to carve his little sculptures.
Yes.
And this whole time I was thinking, where is he getting this, like, malleable, like, metal or what clay if he's using? And I did not see any of the bars of soap. So
yes.
Good notice, because I didn't see it.
Yes.
And so he does make a really great, but now he made a really great key. Now
he made a very great key using one side of the key, which is my big problem with that. Like you need, like both if you're gonna make a key, you need like both sides. You need to like mesh it together. He only does it with one side of the.
But also, now that I know it's key, the key was made of soap.
Real quick.
How did it not break?
And there you go. Like, remember, he was like, oh, this is delicate. Like, he had to push it in there, like, really softly.
Like, I was...
But that is the big question. Wouldn't a bar of soap key... There we go, right there. That's how he does it.
Yes.
And he only does one side.
We're watching we have the show playing.
We have the episode in the background. Trust me, this Watch Out Now is not going to take as long as the episode in the background. I promise you. We'll be done... hopefully quicker than that.
But now that's a question. How would soap not break in that metal, big, thick, heavy metal key?
Yeah, see, the key is that's why I find this plan convoluted, because the key the key part of the plan makes the whole plan like kind of shaky for me.
Yeah.
Like you need to have like a perfectly molded key groove in one side of the soap, and you're really guessing about that other side of the key.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would say the other parts of it, like getting everyone high on magic mushrooms, but the thing with mushrooms is that some people will be happy, some people might be sad, some people might get violent. You never know what mushrooms could possibly bring. If you, like, it can sometimes for people bring up, like, old traumas. You can't have a whole bunch of a room full of people unknowingly dosed with something like that. And it would cause a distraction, but you don't know how terrible it could get.
The entire scene where they serve oatmeal to the prisoners in order to start a distraction. The oatmeal is laced with mushrooms. Everybody who has eaten these mushrooms starts like having giggle fits, and at one point they were doing a massage circle. And okay, here's my issue with the massage circle, or the massage line, I would say. It was not a circle, it was a massage
like a line.
They were all orgasmically massaging each other even the guy who was on the very end doing the massage and not getting a massage, he also seemed like he was orgasming.
I think that everybody was just having like a moment, and the touching. I think that if you're hallucinating or feeling like super sensory, touching someone else could still feel like different. And also, these people have not had real love and kindness for God knows how long. So just like someone who's lost all feeling in their body, and your thumb can become orgasmic to you.
Okay, it's great that you worded it that way, because if you had said these guys have not had physical contact, I was going to bring up a startling statistic.
Yeah, we're not talking about Oz.
Yeah.
But I thought that the only thing with the mushrooms though is these hit these people real quick. Now maybe they hit them so quick because they've been sober. Actually they haven't been sober. There's so much drugs in prison.
They have weed lollipops going on.
So I'm like, they wouldn't be feeling this 5 minutes after eating it.
Yeah, the timeline of them ingesting the mushrooms and this like kicking it. As somebody who has had mushrooms before, which I did not feel anything, and I feel like the money was wasted. But I feel like it should take like an hour or so.
It will take at least an hour.
And they're not letting prisoners just eat lunch for an entire hour.
Prisoner lunch is the same as like your lunch in elementary school. You have 30 minutes and
like
you're
30
done.
Minutes.
Maybe 45 if you guys get some special treatment.
High school lunches always used to seem longer.
Yeah, I think they were a little longer.
Yeah.
I think ours was like 45 minutes.
Maybe 45 minutes. And then 15 minutes to get to and from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing about the whole breakout plan that I thought was silly was Stan's reasoning for it. Mm-hmm. So as we said, Stan and Judy were together. Mm-hmm. She's smuggling stuff for him, coming to visit, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So after she comes for her last visit, she tells him that whoever was helping them smuggle the SIM cards is no longer helping anymore because they're no longer doing the drugs. They told their job and they got fired, so there's no access. Yeah. He's really worried because obviously in prison you got to make yourself useful in some ways.
Yes.
If it's a place that's very violent, possibly. And that was what made him useful and kept him alive. And so he was like, people need these and they're not urgent, as he has a huge gash over his face.
Which brings up another question. What level of security is this prison? Is this like
it's probably like a medium.
It can't be max.
No,
like,
this is like
this
medium.
Was max, there'd be.
But even in regular, whatever the lowest level of prison is, people will still be. You can't put people in cages of varying lifestyles and varying different experiences and criminality and expect there not to be violence, because there's always going to be a bully. Even in school, there's always a bully.
Yes.
And if you're in a prison and these people are thinking they have to show how hard they are, who knows how much bullying, how far the bullying is going to go.
Because it definitely seemed like this was on the lower side of security, because there were a lot of older gentlemen in this prison. I saw a lot of gray hairs and receding hairlines and balding going on.
This is definitely not like, Gitmo.
Yeah.
It's like a regular, probably you stay out your sentence. Maybe some people might be violent. Maybe some people might have some drug charges. But this is probably like a Camp Cupcake compared to other places.
Yes. Side note, that was the nickname I was trying to get pushed in high school.
Camp Cupcake?
No, Gitmo. Hey, if you need anybody to burn you CDs, Gitmo.
Oh, we could.
But it never caught on.
We could put it. I could start calling you Gitmo.
But what am I doing? If ever you want some lazy jokes,
I want some audio editing
on Instagram Live and on a podcast, Gitmo.
If you want some audio podcasting at being edited.
Okay, Gitmo.
There you go. We're gonna start putting it on a shirt.
There you go. Also, I wanted to point out that this person has a lot of really good life skills that people are learning. Like, it has a car shop. It has the cafeteria. They have a garden where people are gardening.
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody also always says, if there was a zombie apocalypse, blah, 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 how would you fare? Turns out, I think prisoners would probably fare the best because they're learning life skills. I don't know how to garden. I don't know how to work on a mechanical car. I don't know how to be a mechanic on a car.
Well, if you're at a quote unquote good, as in all of them are terrible, but if you're at a good prison that actually has a desire to help rehabilitate and has funding behind it, they will have gardens, sewing classes, other type of classes. People can get their GEDs and their college degrees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It just all depends on where you are and if the people there give a modicum of a fuck about you coming out and being able to like do something, or if you could be at a private prison where they're just like putting you in a box and not giving you any rehabilitation, and then you go out and come back in.
Yes.
But anyway, I was talking about Stan and his reason for coming. Judy comes. She's with this asshole, Bob.
Bob from the last
first
episode.
Season, first episode. And you could tell that even though she is with Stan, that something is going on with her and Bob. And I felt like the first episode, when he came to her or she came to him, I forget how they saw each other. Mm-hmm. And, I think it was because he had rounded all them up. And she's like, I'm just really sorry about what happened. I thought it was going to be a situation where, like, they were going together and maybe, like, he wanted to do a heist, she didn't want to do it, they broke up or whatever, like a normal kind of breakup.
Yeah, one of those normal, I want to do a heist.
But, like, something where they just had a disagreement or, like, left. Not her bringing this fucking asshole to where he is living day in and day out with no freedom to come and insult him.
She's a fuckboy.
She's terrible.
You bring your side chick near the main chick, and there you go. Like, and you think everything is just gonna work out? Or you don't care. She's a monster.
She was terrible. I don't know why she would do that.
She's not good.
And I don't know what could, like, I understand him being in prison and not wanting to, like, wait for him or anything like that. I'm not saying she should have waited, but she shouldn't have brought him to the freaking place.
So you're saying she shouldn't have?
And that him seeing her,
you gotta listen to the podcast
if you want to hear the drops.
Exactly.
But him seeing her with this guy, he lost it, and he like you said, he wanted to marry her, and so that was what made him say yes to Leo's plan to leave.
But ultimately, he doesn't go. They initiate the plan. The distraction is happening. He's trying to put the key in the door and do it gently. But Stan sacrifices himself, causes another distraction so that Leo can get free.
Which is what I'm honestly glad he did that, because I think it would have been stupid for him to leave when he only had 6 months out, just for some girl who he was hoping he would be able to win back. Like, she was not worth him risking an extra
more
10
prison
years.
Time, yeah.
If she couldn't wait 6 months and then, like, see what's going on then, or if she, like, whatever, if this guy was going to be able to take her from him, then
6 months fly by like that.
It's like that. So it's very short. It's not a long time. So I'm glad he did that, so he wouldn't have possibility of getting caught, and now he could have a life outside without worrying and looking over his shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
But so he does that. Leo escapes. His plan was to get into the Dr. Caddy. That's what he has on his license plate.
Yes.
His, like, beautiful all white Cadillac, like a 71. And I realized he wasn't when the doctor was first checking him out for his Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. He's like asking him. He sees the car and he's asking him all these questions about the car. It was after when they were starting the plan, because he had a ding in it that Stan did for him.
Yeah, Stan broke the window using like a rock and a lawnmower.
Yeah, and so because Leo works in the auto body center, he says, oh, we can fix that for you for free after what you've done for me, blah, 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 blah. And so he was asking him what type of car it is, and I realized he wanted to know what type of car it was so that he would probably know what the specs are and how he would be able to both set up inside there so he could escape and also to like break into it and drive it.
Yeah, I had questions about this as well. I don't know about you. Have you ever been in a trunk before?
Yes.
Have. 90s kids, am I right? We've
We're
all been in
always
trunks.
trying to,
We've all been
and
in
not
trunks.
talking about trunks that like I've ridden in a trunk like in like a 4Runner in the back of the trunk with no seatbelts, but I also was like we had an old Volvo at the house.
Yeah.
And we were laying in the trunk. At any point, someone could have suffocated and died. Yeah. But here we are.
I mean, look, hey, at least it wasn't an abandoned refrigerator in a fucking land.
There we go. Because that could have happened.
That was happening for the 80s. It was refrigerators.
Yes.
In the 90s, it was trunks. That's all. But no, like I know that there was probably like a hideaway compartment where if you open the trunk, you don't see that there's a human body. I'm skeptical about the size of that being able to fit a full-grown Giancarlo human man.
I feel like he probably, like, to me in my head, when he took it to fix the glass, he must have also done something to the trunk.
I'm guessing that's what it is. It's just that when they have that view of the doctor, like after after Leo breaks out and hides in the guy's trunk, you have the shot of the doctor going home and opening the trunk to put his bag in the back, and you don't see anything. You don't see Leo. You don't see nothing. It's an empty trunk. It looks like normal, but it looks like it's normal, the same size and space that it was when he jumped in there. But apparently he was in there and then busts out by cutting the leather seats.
Those poor leather seats.
To the back of the actual inside of the car. Which, as a side note, when that happened, my first thought was that scene in Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Frank Reynolds busts out of the leather couch naked. I was hoping that he would do it naked too.
It's just I felt so bad for that doctor because that car
is Leo ass
is so old and like pristine, and it's gonna cost so much for him to freaking get that seat fixed.
We're talking hundreds of dollars.
Are you joking?
Yeah, probably hundreds.
No, like probably thousands, or at least I would say at least 2,000.
Which is comprised of hundreds of dollars.
That's not what you say for hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars is like $600.
What is 1,000 if not hundreds of dollars?
Technically, you are correct.
Thank you.
Technically.
That's how math works.
Okay, so what else did I want to talk about? We find out how he breaks out using the guy's car, steals the car, runs away, and then he avoids suspicion because he puts a burned body or a dead body on a cadaver or whatever, sets it on fire, and he had his lawyer Ava, who we know can do some shady shit. Got her to pay someone to replace the dental records.
We find out that Ava is a lawyer too, by the way.
Yes, that
and
she was his lawyer.
Specifically.
So it wasn't that, like, I mean, they still could possibly have been romantic, but at some point, but we know for sure that was what the relationship was. She had been his lawyer.
We're also introduced to this drug-addicted FBI agent.
Yes.
Which, at this point, can we, like, I'm still trying to get a handle on everybody's dynamics and everybody's connections to each other. I don't need to add any more characters. I mean, like, in the last episode, we got introduced to the entire cast of who all is doing the heist, and also there's Roger Sellis and everything like that. Now we have this FBI agent who Spoiler alert, she's also addicted to drugs and has a drug problem because she stole the prescription pad from the doctor. But
I love how Ava called her out because the police went to Ava to ask her, like, when's the last time you saw him? Have you any idea why he left? Blah, blah, blah. And Ava says she doesn't know. And the last time she saw him was months ago. But he told her that his life was being threatened by an Aryan white supremacist group
called the Peckerwoods.
And then explains that because the FBI agent, the lady, is just like, are you telling me he was scared of this little group, whatever? And she was like, yeah, they're called the Peckerwoods because they are drug smugglers and sex traffickers and people traffickers, et cetera, et cetera. And it's basically like, if you weren't so high, or you would know about drugs, wouldn't you? And she could probably tell, like, I think if you know people who do drugs a lot, or you've seen drugs a lot, you can generally see, like, if someone has, like, dilated pupils or are super flushed when they shouldn't normally be.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is, I was thinking that this might be a little dirty little secret she has. But no, because her partner is like yoking her up as they're walking and is like, get your shit together. So if you know your partner is hopped up on whatever, you should be making sure they're going to rehab, not working cases that are essential. And there needs to be like clear heads to prosper.
Agreed. I have no anything to add to that.
She was white. So.
We were right in our assumption in the last episode that Hannah and Leo are father and daughter. I don't know how she identifies. Father and child.
But now
it's a big mystery as to what their falling out was.
Well, we know it has something to do with her mother, because now initially the way that they're being very vague, but we know that the daughter was left with one parent, and that one parent, Leo, gave her to Ava and told her to find her a good family to live with while he was in prison. And so she doesn't hate him for whatever happened to her mother. She hates him, like as she says to him, that he left her alone. And even when at 13 years old she went to go visit him, he said he didn't want to see her. And so that is why she's so angry. So I'm very curious now as to what happened to the mother, because she says herself, you're not allowed to talk about her. So why wouldn't he be allowed to talk about her?
I'm going to assume that the mother died.
I'm assuming the mother's probably dead.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if
maybe she had like terminal cancer or something like that. Before he went to prison, maybe she had cancer and died.
He says, I want you to know why I did what I did. And was it that I want you to know what I did as in leaving you? Because why else? Like, where was your mother? Did she run off with someone? Is she dead? Was she hurt? Was she put away in a mental institution? Like, there's so many different possibilities, especially with the life that he's leading. I wouldn't be surprised if his wife was a super spy or something and left her and him, and he decided to, like, because of his criminal ways, he didn't want to, like, influence her. But I'm sure we'll find out within the next few episodes. But we do find out that we do have it confirmed that Roger Salas is the one who betrayed Leo's character, and that the company that the daughter works for currently, she's been working there since college. And so at the end of the episode, even though they never got to talk again after he first gets out of prison or breaks out of prison, he writes her a letter to explain himself, telling her to be careful, because he saw her with Roger and he knows, like, how dangerous he is. And also, Roger is not his real name.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious as to what that's about.
We don't know the nature of the betrayal. We just know that there must have been some inciting incident that led to...
He said he took everything away from me.
He took everything away.
Maybe. Maybe.
You have a theory?
I have a theory. I want to say that he either got the mom hooked on drugs, which caused the mom to overdose, and then she dies, or he somehow other ways seduces the mom, gets her away from Leo, and then somehow, some way, maybe she dies. And then because he doesn't find Ava until after she's in college, which is something that, like, we don't know how he finds her or why he wanted to find her. But I'm really curious to see how that plays out. But I'm betting you the woman that he spoke about in the first movie, I think her name was Sakura. Sakura, sorry. And I'm assuming that that's the name of her mother. Because she also, I feel like that's her mother, and whatever was going on between the two of them, between Leo and Roger, she was between it, and that is connected to how she died, why she died.
This is how Leo feels about Roger.
Oh, brother, this
he
guy
hates him.
stinks!
He hates him. When I thought that, because at one point towards the end, we see that he follows Hannah to her job. He sees her talking to Roger. Mm-hmm. And I thought that he was going to lose his freedom right then, because Roger was like rubbing on her arm and clearly showing that they were close and all that. But thankfully he didn't. Ava has gotten him set up with a new name. So instead of his name being Ray,
it is now
whatever.
Leo. Yeah.
It is Leo Papp. Mm-hmm. And so now she's...
The first thing I thought was a smear.
Yeah, duh. I mean, that's the only one I would think of. Actually, I would think of like the Nigerian, like when you eat pap, it's like the Gary and mix it whatever. It's good. It's like a custard. But
oh, brother, this guy stinks.
One day I'm gonna get speakers so that the rest of y'all can hear these drops.
Nobody wants to hear those stupid drops.
Yes, they do.
Anyway, so now he has to live his life as Leo, because I was really curious as to. I'm glad they explained how he got this new name, because the whole time they were calling him Ray, and I was just like, what confused. The fuck? Who is Ray?
Yes.
Is it his middle name? Yes. Is it his first name? And he just, like, when he got out of prison, he changed it up because he didn't want the reminder. Who knows? But I'm glad we know now.
The last thing I want to talk about is Ray's nickname for Hannah. Squirrel. It's a terrible nickname.
Why is it terrible?
It's a terrible name to give to a child.
Maybe she was always, like, flitting around or putting grapes in her mouth and pretending she was like a little holding them in her mouth.
I was thinking nuts.
No, because I knew how that was going to sound.
Yeah.
And so I did not say it. That's why I said grapes.
Yeah, and I said nuts.
But maybe she was...
Nuts.
Maybe she just...
Folks, where's the lie?
Maybe she just was always flitting around, climbing up trees. And maybe she had little cheeks, like a little... You know how when babies have those little cheeks? They look like little squirrels.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the... I will say that I'm looking forward to the rest of the show.
I am as well.
And people have been giving different ways that you could watch it. And I'm curious. I feel like I want to watch it from
backwards.
Not backwards. I want to watch it in chronological.
From 6 to 1.
No, like
because there's 7 colors, so there would be.
But each of the colors are different time frames, but they don't. So I want to watch it from the whatever. If 7 years is the latest, is the beginning of the story, then I want to watch it 7 years.
So you want to watch it in the timeline order.
Excuse me. Yes.
Yes. Okay, off mic. You could do this.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I'm the one who has to edit this.
One of these
Folks,
days.
Where's the lie?
One of these days. Just straight to the moon.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyway, tune in. Well, not next week because I will be in. I'm going to be. Well, maybe next week if we could figure out the Instagramming across seas.
No, absolutely not.
Because it's not that difficult.
It very much is.
It is literally not. You add somebody into your live.
Okay, yeah, you can add somebody into the live.
And then
how am I going to record that?
We said we weren't going to record it. We were going to just talk about it, and that wouldn't be an audio episode, but it would be a live episode for consistency.
I hate that the audio listeners don't get a chance to experience these, though. So.
I do too. Well, maybe we'll wait. God.
Wait for it.
Anyway, we will be back here the week of the 23rd.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned to this page, and we'll let y'all know.
And yeah, we'll let you know with episode 3, which is
Blue.
I'm blue.
I used to think it was saying, I'm blue. If I was green, I would die.
I thought that's what they were saying.
No. Apparently, it is Abu Die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
there you go.
Something new every day.
Yeah, the more you know. Anyhow, we will be back next time for another episode of the
Black and Snerdy, watch out now.
Black and Snerdy, watch out now, and stay tuned. Air horns,
Folks,
where is it?
That was the air force.
No, the watch out now.
warning.
That was it.
Oh, watch out now.
We will be right back with We will be back with more of the Watch Out Now. Please stay tuned to this channel. Stay tuned to this podcast for more information on that. We will see you soon. And remember, watch out now. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.
Folks, where's the lie?